sir.
Hello Ram, how are you?
All well, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Sir, in our last video, we have discussed more points about individual health insurance,
Right.
what is a health insurance, and what are the types of health insurances and all. So, post that, as we discussed last time, we want to understand what are the coverages in this,
Right.
what would be the conditions, terms, and in depth about individual health insurance in this video, sir.
Okay. There are many conditions, many terms. Let us look at a few of the important terms. One very, very important term that you will come across is something called copay. Copay means the insurance policy is saying that part of the claim the insured himself has to pay.
Okay.
For example, if the policy says copay is 10%,
Okay.
what does it mean? It means if a claim is 1 lakh, the insurance company is going to pay 90,000, we have to pay 10,000 from our own pocket.
Okay.
If they say 20%, it means 80,000 they will pay, 20,000 you have to pay from your own pocket.
Okay.
So this is one very, very important thing that we have to ensure is not in our policy.
Okay.
Because if suppose the claim is 5 lakhs, then 20% becomes 1 lakh.
Yes.
It's quite a big amount.
Yes.
So we need to ensure when we are buying the policy to look whether our policy has a copay.
Okay.
But insurance companies do not make copay only in this way.
Okay.
There are some other ways in which an insurance company may bring in this concept of copay.
Okay. There are types of copays, sir.
Types of copays. For example, they may say, if you are going into our empaneled hospitals, what we call as the network hospitals, there will be no copay. But if you are getting admitted in a non-empaneled hospital, there will be copay
Okay.
of say 10% or 20%. So this is another type of copay.
Okay.
There will be a third type of copay that can be called as zonal copay. For example, your address is in a tier 2 or a tier 3 city,
Okay.
not in the capital city, not in the metros.
Okay.
As you would appreciate, the medical costs are low in a tier 2, tier 3 city compared to a capital city or a metro.
Yes, sir.
So what the insurance company says is, if you are getting admitted into any hospital in tier 2 or tier 3 city, there is no copay. But the moment you get admitted into a large city like a Hyderabad or a Mumbai or a New Delhi, then you will have a copay of 10% or 20%.
Okay.
This is called as zonal copay.
Okay.
So copays can come in different forms. Our attempt should be to ensure that in no form copay comes into a policy, so that our policy is ensuring that from ground up we are getting paid.
Okay. So when we are buying this insurance, health insurance policy, we need to cross check about all these conditions.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Sir, also apart from copay, the room rents.
You're right.
Usually when a person admits in a hospital, so is this insurance companies decide this room rents or,
Yes.
or who gives this?
Again, the policy.
Okay.
Insurance is a contract.
Yes.
So everything is written in the contract.
Okay.
The contract may say that the room rent is 1% per day of the sum insured. For example, your sum insured is 2 lakhs, 1% becomes 2,000.
Okay.
Then what they are trying to say is the maximum room rent that you can get is 2,000 per day.
Okay.
If it is, some policies will have 2%. That means it is 4,000 per day.
Okay.
Some policies do not have a limit.
Okay. There are policies like that as well.
We do not put any limit on the room rent.
Okay.
There is no room rent capping.
Okay.
So you have to look for what is the capping that's there. But one thing we have to remember is that sometimes we feel, for example, my room rent capping is 2,000. What is the problem? For example, if I stay in a 4,000 room, and suppose even if I stay for 10 days in the hospital, it is only 2,000 into 10, 20,000 extra I will have to.
Yes, obviously, no, only 20,000
extra. But some of the policies have this concept called as proportional coverage.
Okay.
That means if you stay in a room rent higher than what your eligibility is, they will proportionately reduce your claim. To just give an example, your room rent limit is 2,000 and you actually stayed in a 4,000 rupee room.
Okay.
Your claim is 2 lakhs. What the insurance company will say is, out of the 2 lakhs, only 50% I will pay because your eligibility on room rate was only 50%.
Okay.
That means they will pay 1
claim.
lakh.
Okay.
The remaining 1 lakh you have to pay from your own pocket.
Okay.
I'm not saying that every insurance policy has this proportional cost clause or every insurance policy has a room rent capping. We need to look at it at the time of buying.
Okay.
That's what is really
Okay.
important.
So the buyer needs to take look into all these points
Correct.
before buying this policy.
Right.
Okay. So as we discussed about copay and room rent. So I also heard that there are waiting periods.
Right.
So what is this concept of waiting periods?
Okay. When we talk about waiting period, most of the insurance policies in India say there is a waiting period of 30 days. When they say 30-day waiting period, what they are trying to say is, after you bought the policy, for the first 30 days, claims will not be paid. That means your coverage will start only after the 30th day.
Okay.
But not applicable for accidental hospitalization. That means I meet an accident because of which I am hospitalized, then 30 days rule will not be applicable.
Okay, it is covered.
It is covered. But for any other problem, you will hospitalization, you will have a waiting period of 30 days.
Okay.
But some insurance companies have reduced that 30 days to 15 days. Some have made it 7 days. There is one insurance company which has removed the waiting period also.
Okay.
So there are different policies that are there. I am not trying to say whether this is right, that is right, or 30 days is it really such a big issue? I mean, it's not. It may not be an issue because the 30 days is only applicable for the first time you buy.
Okay.
From the next
time
renewal, that's not applicable.
Okay.
So only first time. So 30 days is not a problem. All I am saying is you have to be conscious of the fact what is that waiting period. This is one type of waiting period. The second type of waiting period is something called as a 24-month waiting period.
Okay.
For some specific diseases that are mentioned in the policy, everything is in the contract. They will say for diseases like cataract or a kidney stone or a tonsillitis. There are so many other in the list. For the first 24 months, you can't claim for these.
Okay.
That means for 2 years you can't claim. Some may reduce it to one year, some may keep it at 2 years, but
okay.
Basically that is the 24-month waiting period that you may have in the policy.
Okay.
The third type of waiting period is what is called as a pre-existing diseases.
Okay.
A waiting period for pre-existing diseases. Before we get into this concept of pre-existing diseases, let us try to understand the importance of a proposal form. The insurance company is asking us questions related to our state of health.
Yes, yes. While buying this
While buying the
policy,
policy.
they will ask all this.
We need to be very, very honest in answering it. If I smoke, I should inform that I am a smoker. If I drink, I should inform that I take alcohol. If I am using medicines for say diabetes or hypertension, I should inform it. Because when we get hospitalized, we are certainly going to inform to the doctor. In that state, we don't think about our insurance policy. We just inform the doctor what is truth. And that comes into the case sheet. That case sheet comes to the insurance company. They will know about it. They will say you are misrepresented. And because you are misrepresented, claim is not payable.
Okay.
So one thing we have to understand is we need to be very, very honest whenever we are filling up a proposal form. The second thing we have to remember is we have to buy this insurance very early. Because before these pre-existing diseases come to us, if we buy the insurance and continuously renew it, then this problem of exclusion for pre-existing diseases will not be there.
So at the younger age, we need to buy the
buy
insurance,
the
health
insurance.
insurance policy.
That's the advantage of buying at a younger age.
Okay.
But suppose you have bought after you got the pre-existing diseases, then what the insurance policy will say is, for the first 48 months, this pre-existing diseases will not be payable.
Okay.
That means whatever, and remember when you say, for example, I have hypertension, it doesn't mean only for hypertension they don't pay. Wherever the root cause is hypertension,
Okay.
and because of hypertension I get a heart attack, even that claim will not be paid. So what we have to remember is after 48 months, that is 4 years, only after continuous renewal for 4 years, the coverage will be there for pre-existing diseases.
Okay.
Some insurance companies may reduce that 4 years to 3 years or 2 years, but basically you have to look into each policy to understand what is that number of years or number of months till which this exclusion will be applicable.
Great.
So these are the three types of the waiting periods that we talk about.
Okay, okay. Great, sir. Sir, all this copay coverage or the clauses of copay, different types of copays or room rent cappings or the companies which offer without room rent cappings, no capping on the room rent, and even this waiting periods, when you said there are different companies who offer different waiting periods. Even there are companies who offer without waiting period from day one they will coverage. So for all this, I see a very crucial role of a broker in guiding this whole process of insurance.
Absolutely.
Because as a layman, the user might not go through this whole contract.
Correct.
Usually in our markets, people don't go through this whole document because it is little confusing for the users, and people don't know which clause is kept at which place. So to guide all this, I see the role of a broker very crucial.
Absolutely.
And as I last time also told you,
Right.
there was a company, the new age insurtech broking company, Trovity Insuretech insurance broking company services. They have customized all these coverages into a simple layman language, and they are when you said about this room rent,
Right.
so they go through the document. If the document says 2% of your sum insured is your room rent, so they will say, okay, you have 5 lakhs sum insured, 10,000 is your eligibility room rent. So all this insurance terminology, they are making it into simplified language and they are putting it in a document, and all this is published in your platform where you have your own login credentials. You can store all these policies, you can understand what is covered, what is not covered.
Correct.
You can also take their suggestions at the time of purchasing of the policy,
Right.
where they see these copays, room rents, or the pre-existing waiting periods, everything, and they'll guide you.
Right.
So friends, to understand all this, before buying a health insurance, you definitely need to take a suggestion from either a broker or an agent. And this new age insurtech broking company is giving you a very ease of insurance management. Please go through their platform trovity.com, and you can also take a free advisory from them. You need not buy a policy from them, but still you can upload your policy copy. You can still take their services at free of cost. Thank you, sir.
Right. Ram, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
Great day, sir. Thank you.